Greetings, gentlemen and ladies. I'm the Crypto Game Snob, and we have quite the fun and interesting announcement from the Gods Unchained team. The core set refresh is happening today. Today at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's going to be new, fun cards to play with. Everything's going to be revitalized and refreshed and exciting. Here's what we're doing. Here's how we're looking. The core refresh takes the main free-to-play set of Gods Unchained and gives it an overhaul, adding 70 new cards and revisiting a portion of the existing set. There is a fresh art, utility, and power to be found here, and it hits the beta realm on March the 7th. Note, that is the beta realm, not the official realm. We're heading into beta with some new cards. Here's what we're looking like. Here's a bunch of new cards. Now we're looking at 70 new cards. I don't know, should we go through some of these? Let's go through some of these. We've got here some Death, Deception, Light. What should we look at first? Want to look at Nature? Let's look at some Nature cards. Nature is nice and popular. All right, kicking things off. We have the Bark Sworn Trail Marker. Common creature, which is a mana 1, 2/1 creature with an afterlife of summon a 1/1 Amazon recruit. Okay. We have the Frisky Foxpop, which is a mana 1 nature card with health 1 and 3, and this is a confused warded creature, which is sort of interesting because nature does not have a lot in terms of ward, but ward is really becoming quite the thing. Especially in Magic, you see a lot of ward, so it's interesting for nature to have a warded option early on at 1/3. That's decent. Now it's confused, and it also only has 1 strength, so that ward is interesting though. That ward is certainly interesting. We have a new one called Bark Sworn Protector. This is an Amazon. Now there's quite a few Amazons being added into nature, which is going to make for some interesting Amazon decks, basically. Now this is a mana 2, 2/3 health creature with a ward. No confused, no nothing, just a 2/3 creature health. That is 1 off from Skeleton Heavy, so instead of 2/4, we have a 2/3 with ward. I think it's kind of interesting to see nature get some warded creatures. Basically, that was entirely lacking from nature's options. So kind of interesting to see that being tossed in there. We have the Bark Sworn Ranger, which is another Amazon, which comes from a 3 mana 3/3 that also has a very nice hidden 1 per turn. This could actually be very, very helpful. Getting creatures to stick beyond that first turn can be very powerful. Then you get to make the call what you want that creature to do instead of having your opponent clear it off your board for you before you get a chance. 3/3 is only 1 point away from the maximum no stat sort of 3/4 creature like a Hunt Warden or whatever. So 3/3 and hidden for 1 turn is an interesting option. It's definitely an interesting option. We have the Angry Hippo. He's not just angry, he's angry. So that's even more. This is a 5 mana, 4/6 creature that has confused with Frontline. Okay, that's actually pretty interesting because previously we have something like the Annoying Combatant at 5 mana, which is a 3/6 Frontline. You don't see it played often, you don't see it played hardly at all. We also have, of course, the Guild Enforcer, which is now a 3/5 with 1 armor, 3/5 with 1 armor, I believe. So here we have a creature with a stronger attack and a little bit more health. And confused doesn't really matter, especially if you're frontline. So yeah, we have a fairly decent sized frontline creature being tossed into the mix at that fairly early 5 mana option. A big creature that will be able to give almost as good as it gets, or maybe even better. All right. Continuous Wisp. Now this is a 1 mana 0/1 strength and health creature with Roar. This creature gains 1/1 and then shuffle a copy of it into your deck. So this is basically a 2/1 creature that basically it sounds like you can continue to have these forever, right? So if you have one of these in your deck, it kind of acts like That Which Aches, or That Which Aches Itches, or That Which Aches, or whatever it is, basically to prevent long-term game fatigue. So kind of interesting to have basically a creature that never ever dies. You know, constantly get this thrown back into your deck. You will never have fatigue. As long as you have one of these in your deck, I would say you can never fatigue. Yeah, this creature gains 1/1 and then shuffle a copy of it into your deck. Yeah, it doesn't say it gets like soulless or anything like that, but it seems like, you know, you can never get fatigue if you have this in your deck. So that's kind of interesting. We have the River Jumper Captain, which is a 3 mana, 1/4. 3 mana, 1/4 with Ward. And the ability of Roar, gain 1 strength for each Amazon that you control. Alright, so this could be a 3 mana, potentially quite a bit bigger, right? It's also got Ward, which makes it quite sticky. 3 mana is not that expensive, and 4 health is about as good as we can get for health at 3 mana. 1 attack is a bit weak, but if you have at least 1 creature on the board, this is at least a 2/4 for 3 mana, which is pretty good. That's at least a skeletal heavy, right, with Ward. So actually, the more I look at this, the more I think this is actually a hot card, right? If you've got at least 1 other Amazon on your board, you've got your skeleton heavy with Ward, and it's not confused. You know, it's not anything. If you happen to have 2, you know, 2 Amazons on your board, you know, suddenly you're looking at a whole lot more. If you got some of those, what are the spells that summon 3 1/1 Amazons? I don't remember what that was called. Is that Sudden Rally? I think, yeah, Sudden Rally. And you have 3 Amazons on your board, you could maybe drop a 4/4 with Ward for 3 mana. This card could be massive. This looks like so far the most potentially massive card that I've seen of the nature selections so far. We have one called Hefner Grimshuck. Hefner Grimshuck, which is a legendary card that is an 8 mana drop. A 5/5 8 mana drop, okay. With Confused, Frontline, Overkill, and Ward. With a Roar of gain 1/1 for each wild creature in your void. Oh, in your void. Whoa, okay. Holy smokes, that could come down huge. You know, if you got a bunch of blade flies or dogs unchained, or, you know, just all sorts of crazy things you could throw into your void. Let's assume you get maybe 2 blade flies down and 1 dog's unchained. You're already looking at 3, 6, 7, 8. You're already looking at, you know, +9/+9 with a Confused, Frontline, Overkill, Warded creature. Now 8 mana is pretty high up there, but I would say that Nature's got, you know, more than that. It's got probably much more than that at 8 mana in terms of wild creatures in the void. Yeah, I would say you could easily get this coming out at, you know, +15/+15 with Frontline, Overkill, and Ward. And Overkill. It doesn't have Blitz. No Blitz. And Blitz would be cool. But, you know, still, Frontline, Overkill, Ward. Hot. That could be a very, very hot card. Of course, 8 mana is quite a ways up there, but we are looking at more control nature decks, more later game decks these days, so yeah, maybe Dionysus will make a comeback, maybe those later game nature, you know, sets will make a comeback. That'd be nice. Sanctum Guardian, which is a rare mana 1/3 card with a regen 1, which is pretty cool for mana 1. We've kind of got a bit of a Marshwalker here, like a one weaker Marshwalker. Right? It also has a Roar of gain 1 health if you control another Amazon. So you've basically got a second Marshwalker right here. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a second Marshwalker. You know, it's not as good as a Marshwalker. We've got 1 mana, 1/3, and Marshwalker also has regen, and it comes out as a 1/4. Unless they've nerfed that, I'm not sure. But having 2 Marshwalkers on the board sounds pretty cool to me. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, anyway. Canopy Sniper. Also, we have 2 mana, 1/3, and after one of your Amazon attacks, deal 1 damage to a random enemy creature. This is sort of your very early game Color of the Hunt, right? After one of your Amazon's attacks, deal 1 damage to a random enemy creature. Now, this only applies to Amazons, but if you're Amazon heavy, Amazon focused, this, you know, dealing 1 damage to other creatures if you have a couple of Amazons on board could potentially amount to like a mini board wipe, especially if you're dealing with like zombies or something like that. So this is a very, very early game Color of the Hunt. Very interesting. Not quite Color of the Hunt, but, you know, assuming all your creatures were Amazons, yeah, kind of basically an early game Color of the Hunt. And Color of the Hunt can be extremely powerful for board control. We have Grove Summon, which is a 2 mana, nothing. Okay, so we got a spell here that adds 3 random wild creatures to your hand. Interesting. So these could be anything. These could be this could be an extremely powerful value generating card. It only costs 2 mana and you get 3 random wild creatures. Not spells, but creatures. So if you're looking to buff up your hand with a bunch of potentially very powerful creatures, like it says random, right? These could be wild hogs, these could be overgrown rhinos, these could be confused giants, right? Or green giants rather, green confused giants. This could be anything. For only 2 mana. I mean, there seems like a heck of a lot of bang for your buck right there. Instead of putting in, you know, some bigger creatures, just drop in a couple of these. You get 6 cards for the price of 2, and you potentially get, you know, what you could potentially get, you know, 10, 15 mana worth of creatures for the price of 2. Like, that's actually massive. That is huge. That is a nature core spell. I will definitely be playing that one. That one might be potentially the most interesting, powerful one I've seen so far, even though we've looked at a couple that look really good. We have Belligerent Insomniac, which is a... are we still in nature? Yeah, no, now we're into neutral. Okay, so we're going to end this video here. We're going to do it god by god and set by set, so we don't make these videos too long. But that's a look at what's coming up for nature. I like it. That looks like fun. Okay, see you guys later.